Designing the beams. Here you can see the examples of laterally supported beam. So here one of the flanges is inserted or casted in the slab itself, RCC slab. So whereas here this I section is supported by two other I sections or beams which are running perpendicular in the other direction. So this will be the main beam, the bigger beam. The two smaller beams will be connected for this. So if the arrangement is done in this fashion, this beam also becomes a laterally supported beam. So to do that, we'll be using plastic and compact sections. So these values, you need two values, two ratios of width to thickness of flange ratio. B is nothing but the width of the flange. So these values you can get it from page 17 and 18 of code book. You can see here, this is page number 17 and 18. So in table 2, from table 2 you will get those two values. So we're going for rolled steel section. So we need two values, one is at the outer compression and one at the neutral axis at mid depth. So B width of flange to the thickness of flange ratio for plastic case is 9.4 times of epsilon, and for compact class 2 is 1 on 10.5 epsilon, and for semi compact it is 15.7 epsilon. Similarly, at neutral axis or at mid depth, this ratio D by TW, I'll explain what is D, is for plastic it is 84 times of epsilon, for class 2 compact 105 epsilon, and for semi compact it is 126 epsilon. So these values can be obtained from page 17 and 18 of code book. So if it is slender, this it should be greater than 15.7 epsilon and it should be greater than 126 epsilon. So where epsilon is 250 by Fy whole to the power of half, we know that Fy is 250, so always this epsilon will be equal to 1, and this is given below the table from page number 18. So here you can see an I section which is not having any toe radiuses here or root radiuses, toe or root radiuses here. So this is the total height of the section, which is described as h. If it is highest h be 350, the h will be equal to 350, and this will be the thickness of the flange, thickness of the web, and this will be the thickness of the flange, and this value b is measured from this center till this end. It's nothing but half of width of flange. Now D is measured. D is from this particular point till here. So D will be equal to h minus thickness of flange on this side, thickness of flange on that side. So D will be equal to h minus 2 times of thickness of flanges. If this section is used with root and toe radiuses, then D will be equal to h1. This h1 value will be directly given from steel table for particular sections. So this is the total height h, and this is b, once again same, and this is the root radius. So this root radius starts from here and ends till here, and once this radius ends, this thickness of flange varies from this particular point till here. This is the kind of section used, then h is given by, d is given by h1, which is nothing but h minus 2 times of thickness of flanges and 2 root radiuses. Or D is also equal to h minus 2 into Tf plus R1, or D is equal to, if you simplify it further, D will be equal to h minus 2 times of thickness of flange. So we will be using this formula for moment of resistance of beam if Vu is less than or equal to 0.6 times of Vd. We came across this statement while dealing with the introduction. So this Vu is nothing but a design shear force, and Vd is nothing but design shear strength. So if this is a condition, in order to check the moment of resistance of any given beam, you have to use this particular formula, which is given in page number 53. Beta B into Zp into Fy divided by gamma m naught, and this value should be less than 1.2 times of Zd into Fy by gamma m naught. It is simply supported, and it should be less than 1.5 Zd into Fy divided by gamma m naught if it is cantilever condition. Beta B is equal to 1 because you will be designing only plastic and compact sections, and Zp is the plastic modulus, you are aware of it, and gamma m naught is 1.10 from table 5 of page number 30. If Vu is greater than 0.6 times of Vd, Then this will be the formula for calculating moment of resistance, and it is given in page number 70. And this value should be less than or equal to 1.2 times of ZE into Fy divided by gamma m naught. So these two formulas, depending on these conditions, we'll be using this moment of resistance formulas. So if Vu is less than 0.6 times of Vd, the formula from page 53. If Vu is greater than 0.6 times of Vd, that use the formula given in page number 70 for checking moment of resistance of any given B. Next, check for deflection. So based on the type of support and type of loading, you are having these values. You have to memorize these values, where ES is always 2 into 10 raised to 5 or 2.1 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per mm square. So permissive deflection is calculated using this formula, that is span divided by 250. So we'll be calculating the actual deflection with permissible deflection to decide whether it is safe or not. So here he is given an example how to derive this formulas over here. It is done by moment area method. You can so this is for simply supported case and this is for cantilever case. So this is how deflection will be checked. We will be calculating the actual deflection based on the type of support or the type of beam and the type of loading, and you will be comparing it with permissible deflection, which is obtained by span by 250. And one thing you have to remember here, L is span, ES is 2 into 10 raised to 5 always, and W you have to substitute always unfactored load. You should not substitute ultimate or factored load in place of W. The next step which we will be doing is check for shear, and the formula for this design shear strength, that is Vd, is given in page 59. It is nothing but 0.6 times of Fy divided by root 3 into gamma m naught into Av, and this should be greater than the shear force acting. So where Av is nothing but shear area, which is given by the height of the section, the total height of the section into thickness of web will give you shear area Av. And this design strength value should always be greater than Vu, that is the design shear force, if it has to be safe due to shear. So these are the local failures. The first one is check for web crippling. Told you this is where the crippling happens at the junction. It will occur at the bottom of the I section if the stresses are more at the support, and at the top junction if the concentrated load is active. So for this the formula is given in page number 67, and this value should be greater than the reaction which you are getting at the support. And this is given by B1 plus N2 into TW into FYW divided by gamma m naught, where FYW is nothing but Fy, that is 250, gamma m naught is a partial safety factor, you can get it, and thickness of web also you can get it easily, whereas B1 is nothing but the supported width. You can see two examples here. So beam is supported fully, so this will be the value of B1. So it's a half bearing, the value of B1 should be considered half of the support. So now what is N2? Now if you take the bottom portion of an I section, told you that you will be having a root radius over here, and this will be the thickness of flange. So from this particular point, if you start drawing a line with slope 1:25, the point where it reaches this particular point, that is thickness of flange plus R1. So this particular point is at a height of thickness of flange plus R1. So if you start drawing a line with slope of 1:2.5 from this particular point till the intersection of this particular point, which is equal to or at the height of thickness of flange plus R1, so then this distance, horizontal distance from this particular point till here is called as N2. The slope is 2.5, so the formula to get N2 is 2.5 times of the thickness of flange plus R1. So to substitute in this, if you want your I section or any section to be safe due to web crippling, the value which you get, that is Fw, should be greater than the reaction which you get this support. The next check is check for web buckling. The formula for this is given in page number 67. So this is nothing but the web buckling, where the where the web portion acts as a column, short column, and where the two edges are fixed. So it is given by B1 plus N1 into TW into FC, where N1 is nothing but h by 2, that is half of the total height of the section, and B1 is the width of the support, TW is the thickness of the web, and FC is nothing but the critical stress and you will be getting this value from table 9C once you get the value of slenderness ratio. So based on the slenderness ratio, first you have to calculate the slenderness ratio, and using this value referring table 9C you will get the value of FC. I use this concept in design of compression member also. So the formula to get slenderness ratio here, that is lambda, is 2.5 times of D into TW. You are aware of what is D. It is H minus 2 times of thickness of flange. And once you get the slenderness ratio and referring table 9C, you will get the value of FC. Move on to the first problem. A simply supported beam ISMB 350 at 52.4 kg per meter is used over a span of 5 meters. The beam carries an UDL live load of 20 kN per meter and dead load of 15 kN per meter. The beam is laterally supported throughout, and you have to check for the safety of the beam. The beam used here is ISMB 350 at 52.4 kg per meter. So the overall height will be equal to 350, and the width of flange is 150, thickness of flange is 14.2, thickness of web is 8.1, and the root radius is 14 mm, and the value of B will be equal to 70. See, all these values are obtained from steel table. For this particular section, ISMB 350 at 52.4 kg per meter. So this is a beam, it's a simply supported beam, and it is running over a span of 5 meters, and it carries UDL live load at 20 kN per meter and dead load of 15 kN per meter, and it is laterally supported throughout. So first you have to calculate the load acting on this particular beam. The self weight of the beam is given along with this question, that is 52.4 kg per meter, and it will be equal to 0.524 kN per meter. Dead load is given 15 kN per meter. Live load is also mentioned 20 kN per meter. So the total load will be 35.524 kN per meter. So the ultimate factor load will be 1.5 times of this, and it will be equal to 53.286. So this is a simply supported beam for a span of 5 meters. We calculated the load acting on it, and that is equal to 53.286. So this is how we have calculated. So maximum bending moment is WL square by 8, and the W is nothing but 53.286 for a span of 5 meters. So MV will be equal to 166.5 kN meter. And for a simply supported case, shear force is nothing but WL by 2, and that will be equal to 133.21. So obtained the MU maximum bending moment, that is 166.5 kN meter, and the maximum shear force is 133.21 kN, and these two are acting on this particular beam of span 5 meters, and it is what kind of supported beam? It is a laterally supported throughout. So starting with the first check, we will be checking for shear. So this formula is given in page 15 of your codebook. So this design shear strength should be greater than the shear force acting, that is 133.21. So for rolled steel sections, so Fy is 250 here, gamma m0 is 1.10. You have to calculate this AV shear area as nothing but the overall height of the section into thickness of the web. The overall height of the section is 350 and thickness of web is 8.1. So shear area will be equal to 2835 mm square. So we substitute these values in this particular formula. So design shear strength VD, you are getting 223.1 kN. So the maximum shear force carrying capacity of this particular beam is 223.1 kN, whereas the shear force acting is 133.21. Hence this particular beam is safe in shear. So next we will be checking for moment of resistance. So you have two conditions. Based on that you have to choose the formula. So here VU is less than or equal to 0.6 times of VD. And I judge this using the previous values. So this formula from page 53 should be used to check the moment of resistance. So here beta B is always 1. In order to design that, you have to refer these two values. B by TF, that is 140 by 2 in this case. In this case B is 140 by 2, width of flange is 140, so half of it is B. The thickness of flange is 14.2, so it is 4.92, so it is less than 9.4, and the other value is T by TW at the neutral axis. D is nothing but H minus 2 times of so D is from this particular point till here is given by H minus 2 times of thickness of flange. So that is what we have substituted here. 350 is overall height minus 2 times of thickness of flange is 14.2 and thickness of web is 8.1. So we are getting 39.7. It is less than 8.4. So based on these two values 4.92 and 39.7 referring table in page number 18, we can decide that this falls under category of plastic section. So if it is a plastic one, this beta will be equal to 1. So from table 46, page 138 of steel table, for ISMB 350 this value is given, ZP value, plastic modulus is given and it is 851.11 centimeter cube. So this table number and page number varies if the authors of steel tables varies also. So if you refer for ISMB 350, ZPZ is 851.11 centimeter cube. In mm cube it will be 851.11 in 10 raised to 3 mm cube. So if we substitute those values in this, we are aware of beta now, ZP, Fy is 250, gamma m naught is 1.10. If we substitute all those values, MD you are getting 183.43 into 10 raised to 6 Newton mm, or in other terms it is 183.43 kilonewton meter. So the maximum bending moment or shear resistance for this particular beam is 183.43 kilonewton meter, whereas the load acting maximum bending moment is 166.5 kilonewton meter. So it is safe under bending also. So next we will be checking for deflection. We are aware that this is a formula to calculate the permissible deflection, that is span by 250. Span is of 5 meters, so divide by 250. So the permissible deflection is 20 mm. So now we have to calculate the actual deflection. So this is a simply supported case where UDL is acting. So this is a formula for actual deflection. So ES is nothing but 2 into 10 raised to 5 Newton per meter square. The IXS is nothing but is equal to IZZ. You can get this value from steel table for this particular I section, that is ISMB 350, and that is equal to 13630.3 in 10 raised to 4 mm to the power of 4. So 5. W, you have to be careful, you have to substitute unfactored load here. Into span is 5000, 384, ES is 2 into 10 raised to 5, IX is 13660.3 10 raised to 4. This is from steel table for this particular ISMB 350. So actual deflection is 10.6, but the permissible for this particular beam is 20. So actual deflection getting is 10.6, permissible is 20, so it is safe under deflection also. So next check you are having is for web crippling. It is given by this formula over here, which is available in the code book. So the bearing width is not mentioned in the question, so you can assume it as either 230 or 200 is left you. So bearing width or the support, or it is nothing but the width of the column on which the beam is resting. I'll assume that it has a 200, so B1 will be equal to 200, and N2 you are aware it is with respect to the thicknesses and the line with slope 2.5, so it is given by 2.5 times of thickness of flange plus R1. So 2.5 times of thickness flange is 14.2, and this root radius you can get it from steel table for ISMB 350 and it is 14 in this case. So N2 is 70.5. So substitute this all these values in this formula here. B1 is 200 and N2 is 70.5 and thickness of web is 8.5. FYW is nothing but 250, gamma m naught is 1.10, getting 497.96, and this value should be greater than the shear force acting. So the shear force acting here is 133.21, but this value you are getting here is 497.96, so it is safe. So this value indicates at the point where the web crippling happens. So the web crippling happens if a load of 497.96 kN acts, but whereas here the shear force acting is very less when compared to this value, hence it is safe for web crippling, that is local failure. The next one is check for web buckling. This is a formula for that. So here once again we will be using this formula from code book. So we are aware of B1, we assumed it as 200, and N1 is nothing but H by 2, that is 350 by 2, the overall height of the section, the half of overall height of the section, that will be equal to 175. Thickness of web we are aware 8.1. The only thing I have to calculate is FC. We will be getting this from table 9C. If you refer table 9C, you are having the various values there for various slenderness ratios. So first you have to calculate slenderness ratio here. So lambda is 2.5 times of D into TW. So 2.5 times of D. How to calculate D? Is the portion between it's nothing but the height of the web portion, which is nothing but H, the overall height, minus 2 times the thickness of flanges, and it is TW. So lambda you are getting 99.25, and if you refer table 9C, for a lambda of 99.25 and for Fy 250, the FCD you are getting is 107 Newton per mm square. If we substitute this here, so FCD will be getting what, 325.01 kilonewton. That means this value should be greater than shear force. If the load of 325.01 kilonewton starts acting on the beam, the web portion starts buckling. That's the meaning of this. That the shear force acting is very less compared to 325, so it is safe. So let me tell you how to get the value of FC from table 9C. So first we will be calculating the slenderness ratio here. So this is table 9C. So calculated the slenderness ratio value. So using that value, and for Fy of 250, you will be getting the value of FCD. So the calculated value of slenderness ratio is 99.25. So it falls between these two values, and for 250 you will be getting values between these two. That interpolated, you will be getting the value of FC. So this is how you get the value of FC here. That is 107 Newton per mm square. So this problem was calculating or checking whether it is safe or not. So next will be the design. So design a beam of effective span 6 meter subjected to an UDL of 10 kN per meter along with 100 kN load. The beam is laterally supported and the thickness of wall is mentioned over here in this problem, that is equal to 230 mm. So first you have to calculate the load. So UDL on the beam is 10 kN, it is given, and assuming the self weight of the beam, that is 1 kN per meter, the total load will be 11 kN per meter. So ultimate UDL will be 1.5 times of 11, and the ultimate point load will be 1.5 times of 100, that is 150. So total UDL acting, the factored load is 16.5, and the point load is, the factored load is 150 and is acting exactly at the mid span. So total span is 6 meters. So this will be 3 and 3. So in order to calculate shear force, it is 16.5 into span by 2, and for point load is nothing but the half of it, as it is acting exactly at the midpoint. The shear force acting here, the maximum is 124.5 kilonewton. The maximum moment is given by WL square by 8 plus WL by 4. This is due to UDL and this is due to point load. So maximum moment will be 299.2 kilonewton meter. So now we have to choose a section now. So the design of tension members or compression member used to get the area first, and based on the area we used to choose the section. Whereas here we will be calculating plastic modulus first, that is ZP, using this formula given in page 53. There is nothing but the formula of MD itself. From this we will be calculating ZP. So MD you are aware, we will be substituting this value now. The gamma m0 is 1.1. Assuming that it is a plastic section, so beta will be 1, Fy is 250. So ZP you will be getting this much, and centimeter cube it will be 1316.5. So we will increase it by 20%. So the required will be 1580 centimeter cube. So now from using steel table, so you have to use the steel table instead of getting the section from area. We calculate ZP here. So with respect to that value of ZP, we will be choosing the section from steel table. So I have chosen ISWB 450 at 79.4 kg per meter. So this is a section, and all these properties are obtained from the steel table for ISWB 450. And for now, for this particular section, ZP will be 1760.59 centimeter cube. See, the required was this much, the provided is this much, so it is safe. So we need ZE value also, that you can get from the steel table itself, and even this also can be obtained from steel table. So next, once you are obtained the section, you have designed the section. Now you have to check for deflection first. So once again, this is the formula to get the permissible deflection span by 250. The span is of 6 meters. So the permissible deflection is 24 mm. So for this type of condition, the actual deflection is given by this formula over here. So once again, you have to substitute the unfactored load here, and this is with respect to UDL and this is with respect to point load, and substitute those values, you'll be getting the actual deflection as 9.06 mm. The permissible was 24, the actual deflection occurring here is 9.06 mm, so it is safe. So next, check for shear. You'll be using this formula from page 59. Once again, you have to calculate shear area, which is nothing but the height of the section, that is 450 into thickness of web, that is 9.2. You substitute those values, you'll be getting 325.94. So its strength is more when compared to actual shear force acting over here. The actual shear force acting over here is 124.5 kN, but the design shear strength is 325, so it is safe. So check for moment of resistance. So once again, you have to cross check whether it falls under plastic or semi-compact. So once again, you'll be using these two values and referring table 18 to get the value of beta. So you are getting these values are below 9.4 and 84, so it falls under the section plastic, so beta will be equal to 1. ZP are aware, ZP, the provided ZP I have to substitute here. The chosen one section, and for that particular section ZP should be taken from steel table, that value should be substituted here, not the required ZP. So beta phi is 1, ZP we are aware, Fy is 250, gamma m naught is 1.10, so it is 400.13 kilonewton meter. Obviously its strength is more when compared to actual bending moment, so it is safe. And also have to cross check with these two values here. For that ZE is required. You can get this value of ZE from steel table itself. So it is satisfying these two conditions also. So it is safe for bending also. You can check with web buckling and crippling also. If it is not required, if you want, you can check. You will be getting safe for that also. And this is the problems regarding design. One is the design problem. The second one, the first one was determining its strength.